You don't have to fill in the gaps in your knowledge with God's. They're unnecessary. Curiosity is more important than having beliefs. Now, the last time I attended a church service was when I was 19. I'm 28 now, so that was about 9 years ago. For many weeks before that, I had stopped going up for communion, and my youngest sister said, Mom and Dad are going to get mad. And I said, it's better than living a lie, better than going up there and saying amen and not really meaning it. And shortly after that, she stopped going up for communion too. And so I'm glad that I was able to inspire her to find her own courage. And all of this time, during this whole journey, I had been talking to my parents, mostly my mom, about my thoughts on religion. So when I told my mom that I was no longer a Christian, and I no longer believed in it, she wasn't happy. There was some discussion, but I never felt like I was in trouble. I wasn't afraid that she would reject me in any way, and she didn't. Everything was fine. She accepted it once I explained myself sufficiently. We still have arguments about a lot of things, but our relationship was not damaged in any way. And that's a very good thing. I felt very safe. I had a good environment for making the journey that I did. And outside the church, I never really felt any pressure to remain Christian. And that's a good thing too, because I still think I would have rejected it at some point, but it would have taken longer if I had felt that a lot of friendships were at stake, and also friendships were never really all that important to me. I do have good friends and I value them, but solitude isn't something that really bothers me all that much. I suppose it does to a point like everybody else, but I guess I've been kind of singled out throughout my life, so the idea of being singled out for this was really nothing different, except this was something that I really chose. So I don't know how to really explain it all that well, but maybe you get it. In the time that I have been on YouTube, talking to Christians and other atheists, having arguments with both sides, but mostly with Christians, and having agreements on both sides, even with Christians, I have done more studying and I have learned more about religion than I have in all the time before that. And so I'm really glad to be a part of this community and to have as many subscribers as I have. I know 158, 159, whatever my number is, it's not impressive compared to a lot of you, even people who have been here for only a couple of months. But for me, it's not a contest of how many subscribers you can accumulate. It's a contest of how much knowledge you can accumulate. And forming a community, being part of a community. I mean, it was pretty well formed already, but I think I've seen it become much stronger through things like the false DMCAs, the vote botting, and the false flagging. Every time an attempt is made to silence what we have to say is met with such a unanimous response from so many different people. I mean, the Phil Helene's video, What Islam Fears Laughter, that thing is now everywhere. And it would not be nearly as big as it is now if it weren't fought, if someone didn't try to silence him. And so I'm thankful even for those stupid tactics that a lot of the trolls out there have of cowardishly, whatever, trying to remove something from the internet. I mean, the very idea is absurd. I think it was very well said on the show Just Shoot Me. There was an episode where someone had put an embarrassing picture up on the internet of somebody, and he said, take it down. And he said, trying to remove something from the internet is like trying to remove chlorine from a swimming pool. You know, once something spreads so much, it can't simply be removed. You have to be in too many places at once, and it spreads faster than you can remove it. You know, the atheist community is it's not even just the atheist community, in fact. In a lot of cases, the atheists and the Christians are united. And I think that is an awesome thing, too. Because the Christians who don't do these things, who don't try to silence people by methods other than persuasion, they are the ones you can count on to have your back when your freedom of speech is at stake. You know, people like The Reprieve and God Invented Music, my two favorite Christians on YouTube. I mean, I feel like we disagree on a lot of relatively trivial matters, but when it comes to having a discussion, a rational discussion that could actually go somewhere, or both sides can learn something, we believe the same things. It is much better to change someone's mind than to try and get them to stop a message, than trying to silence them. That wasn't as eloquent as it would have been if I had written it, but I'm a better writer than I am a talker. But anyway, I think that pretty well wraps it up for this. So, see you next time. See you next time. See you next time.